So the Tea Party movement, they definitely had a loud and clear message. They wanted Bart Stupak out of office, and it's ironic that as soon as that tour bus crossed the Michigan state line, he announced his retirement. What's your take on Bart Stupak himself?
Oh boy. Well, I was actually up in Ironwood. I came through the state. In fact, the only stop that I did personally miss was Sheboygan.
The one I was at.
The one you were at, that's right. I was at Ironwood, I was at Escanaba, I was at the Sioux, and also Petoskey and Traverse City. I was scheduled to be in Sheboygan, but somehow somebody put a wrong time in my calendar, and well, it was a day late and a dollar short, and I apologize to the people of, I really apologize to the people of Sheboygan because I had every intention of being there. So my apologies, and I will pay more attention to you next time, believe me. Anyway, Bart and the Tea Party. Bart abandoned his constituents. Bart abandoned the values of his constituents. He thought that it was more important that he follow the dictates of Nancy Pelosi, who had the power base to, in his mind, assure him of his continued electability. That's wrong. Only the people of the 1st District can ensure anyone's electability. So Bart angered virtually the entire district, and at the end, when it was too late, I think he knew that. So I had developed what we call the Stillings solution, which was, it was a multi-step process. The first process was, and it was a big hit with the Tea Party people when I was speaking in front of the crowds, was the first, step number 1, get rid of Bart. Well, by the time we got to Escanaba, Bart had already got rid of himself. So the people of the 1st District did the heavy lifting on that one. The people made it known that they weren't putting up with Bart anymore, and he just finally had to come to that realization, and it was too late to say, whoops, give me a do-over. You know, he had offended them, they knew that he had abandoned them, they knew that he no longer shared their values, and that was it, it was done. So from there in, you know, we have to send someone with the same values as the people in the district, the Tea Party values, if you will. Someone who has enough backbone to stand up to the entrenched powers in Washington to get what we hope will be a really large freshman class of new congressmen together to fiscally save this country. Because if we don't, it's just going to be horrible. You have no idea. It'd be like running out of money, can't make your house payment, your car payment, or anything that's important to you. We're going to be in that much trouble. We're going to look like Greece really soon.
In terms of Bart Stupak, you know, you say abandon his constituents. Are you speaking specifically to the health care bill, or do you feel there are a few other issues, and that's kind of just the major one? Across
the board. The health care bill, which is really not a health care bill, it's a tax bill with a health care title on it. I mean, there's more taxes in there than there is health care. In fact, there's a net reduction of health care availability for the average citizen in that bill. The whole thing needs to be taken down, and we have to start from scratch. That's the only way to do it. There's so much ugly stuff buried in those 2,000 plus pages that the idea of trying to patch it and fix it just is not going to work. You know, you're running the risk of leaving too much ugliness behind, too much things that are going to be costly down the road. So we have to repeal that if the Supreme Court doesn't declare it unconstitutional to begin with, and start from scratch. There are some things that we need to do. There are some things that are actually in there that we should do, and we should do each of them as an individual step in its own small bill with a limited number of pages that's readable and understandable, where every constituent can look at it and say, okay, I see that. It takes care of this problem. Then go to the next one and take care of the next problem. Don't let there be so much paperwork in there that there is a chance that you can hide anything. Let's make this something that we haven't seen in government for a long time, transparent. That's what we need to do. But he abandoned his people's values on the abortion issue, on the health care issue, all the way back to illegal immigration when he sponsored the SAVE Act, a very cynical move. They shoved it off in committee, and when the Republicans wanted to pull it out of committee through a discharge petition, Bart and the other Democrats refused to sign the petition, assuring that the bill would die in committee, which is what they wanted. They really didn't want the bill. What they wanted was to be able to say, I was for this bill, when in truth, they weren't, plain and simple.
Now, do you anticipate the Supreme Court declaring it unconstitutional, or kind of what do you see for the future of the bill?
Well, my tea leaves get real murky when you try to get me to predict what the Supreme Court's going to do. I know what I would like them to do, but just in case they don't, I think we have to have a plan to repeal it. And if they take care of it just like the people of the district took care of BART, if the Supreme Court takes care of the heavy lifting on this one, so much the better. We're that much further down the road, and we're that much closer to some fiscal stability.
Okay.
But, and some better health care for everybody. There are things to do, but they involve reducing costs overall. Anytime you add a layer of bureaucracy on top of anything, you don't reduce costs, you've added a cost. This is, the whole thing is a sham in my estimation.
Okay, thanks, Tom. When we come back, he'll tell us a little bit more about his goals if elected. Stay tuned.